Many of us already live much of our lives on social media, but tech companies are now pinning their hopes on the Metaverse as the future. It's an online world where you can interact, shop and socialise.
Now, Mark Zuckerberg, he of Facebook fame, amongst many other things, says the Metaverse will allow us to teleport instantly as a hologram to be at the office without a commute or attend a concert with friends no matter where you live and kind of experience it. Extraordinary, isn't it? But critics say it opens up opportunities to hackers, fraudsters and criminals, including dangers to children and, of course, without parents realising because they're experiencing it themselves.
Carol Vorderman's been campaigning for online safety for children for the past 22 years and joins us now. Carol, so this is the Metaverse.
Yes, the Metaverse.
Let's start at the beginning, because that's an interesting fact, and this is probably part of the problem. 62% of adults don't know what the Metaverse is.
Have no idea what it is.
So what is it?
Well, and everybody watching now, we're watching in 2 dimensions. So whatever we show is a different experience because you're sitting at home and you're watching me on a screen, or watching the avatars that you've just shown on a screen. So it's a pretty passive experience. The Metaverse is when you normally put on a headset like this, and it's called an immersive experience. So you can become an avatar. You can even become yourself with kind of deep fake 3D software. Now, it's pretty... I can be there. I don't have to be in a sort of Carol Vorderman character, if you like. I can be myself as well. So you put that on, and the way I can only describe it, really, it's like an experience with water. What we have on the internet now, and we all know the abuse that happens online, everybody knows that, is like standing at a sink and washing your hands in water. That is our experience with the internet. You can flip down the top of your laptop, and you can switch your phone off. You don't have to go on social media. When you put these on, it's like jumping into a swimming pool. It's called immersive for that reason. You are there, and your brain is convinced that you are there. And that can be used for wonderful things, don't get me wrong. It can be. But your children, Kate, we estimate at the Institute of Engineering and Technology, who I'm kind of representing with this report, and I'm an honorary fellow there, we estimate that young children today, because this is coming along at a rate of knots, will probably spend around about up to 3 hours a day through their lifetime. Some of that will be working from home, some of that will be entertainment, leisure and so on. But there is little legislation that safeguards the abusive side of it.
So 2 things spring to mind. The only way that I think most people may have had a little flicker of this is if you've been to, like, a theme park, maybe, and you've done one of those virtual reality things where you feel like you're falling off a cliff and you feel sick and your stomach goes, even though you're not moving, or in a cinema. It's different because it's right on your face, but I can see how that would mess with your mind if you were in it all the time. So there's that side of it which people might be concerned about, but as you say, there's also the abusive side, which is what your legislation's tried to tackle.
Well, users now, so the IET has put together this report, proper research done for this report, and interviewed a number of parents, 1,000 parents, and really, you know, there are child restrictions on using the headsets of either age 12 or 13, depending on the headset. But the researchers have been into popular sites called, like, VR chat. So when you go, imagine we are here now, or you're watching at home, you are there in the kitchen, or you are there virtually.
With you.
So I can come up to you virtually and touch you. I can come up to you and do anything to you. OK?
Gosh.
There is haptic clothing, which you can buy now. You can buy vests, you can buy pants, whatever you want to do. And I can touch you and you will feel that.
Wow.
I can put flame on your avatar and you will feel hot. You'll feel heat.
Gosh.
Your brain convinces you can even feel rain. You can feel the wind. You can feel the weather. So let's not pretend that this is like watching...
Painting the picture, a child could be downstairs with you, perfectly innocent, on the kitchen table for 1 minute, and then the next thing, they're in their bedroom living a completely different life.
An entirely different life.
Or they could be in the kitchen with you actually.
in
It's not even in their bedrooms.
Yes,
it's not
they could
even
be.
that.
Yeah.
They could be sitting at the kitchen table and you have no idea what's happening to them or they are experiencing.
There was a documentary, wasn't there, or a news investigation in the BBC, and the reporter posed as a 13-year-old girl on this chat room you mentioned, VR chat, and she was exposed to racist threats, rape threats, and witnessed simulated sex. I mean, it's baffling that this isn't covered at all in any legal framework at this point.
I go back, you mentioned earlier, so I go back 22 years to when the internet was first starting.
Yeah.
I was writing for The Mirror, funnily enough, Piers was the editor at the time, and little Sarah Payne was murdered, and we started getting a lot of emails in from parents who were very frightened for their children, and they started mentioning chat rooms. So I was specifically writing about the internet every week and how they were convinced, so going back, that their children were meeting or being groomed online. And there was no law at that time to make that illegal.
And we're in that place.
At that time, that could happen, no criminal act had taken place.
So what can parents do?
And it's the same now. Obviously, the Grooming Online Bill then became part of legislation. We're at that stage now with the Metaverse, and we need to be ahead of the game.
So you're there, you're campaigning, hopefully to get this law in place, and you're very successful, and hopefully people will listen to you, and the government will listen to you. What can parents do as individuals? Because just like with the internet, there's no point in saying, don't go on it, because now everything's on the internet. We work on the internet. Their schooling is on the internet. So you have to assume that this will come into our lives over the next 20 years in the same way, whether we want it to or not.
I would say the next 5.
Next 5 years.
Yeah.
OK. Yeah. So what can we do as individual parents?
So what could you do?
What can I do?
Yes, what can you do?
There we go.
Well, for a start, don't let anyone under the age of 12 or 13 go on it. Don't let your child go on it. And you say, well, it's very easy for that. There is a system, it's quite complex for you to be able to view on your computer what they're seeing. That is possible. But please don't even buy one of these unless you've experienced it yourself and go in. But it is the Wild West. That's all I can say. It's the Wild West out there. And it's immersive. So the effect on a brain is it's incomparable to what we have now.
Well, also, we all know, and we've all experienced, haven't we, on a positive side, the power of visualisation. People talk about it. We talk about it a lot in well-being. And this, you can see, would have a similar power potentially for negative, to change your brain and your mindset.
It has incredible aspects of it, which we will use and can use, but the legislation has to come in soon.
OK.
Yeah. Carol, fascinated to talk to you as always. We didn't have a lot of laughs like we normally do, but come back next time for that.
We will, yeah.
Thank you for all you do, Carol Vorderman. Thank you very much.
Yeah, amazing.